Hello everyone. Today we're going to be learning how to play with the mesh modeling inside the map editor. So we're going to go to create, map editor, create a new map, and then mouse and keyboard for me, advanced, sunrise will do, any of those will do. So we're just going to do some of the basics to get you familiar with making some of your own ramps and connecting them onto the ramps that have already been made by nadeo. So first off, when we get into the map editor, we're just going to go into our basic sort of quarter pipe. Just place that anywhere for now, right? And we'll just quickly finish this off like this. Because what we're going to do is we're going to start from scratch and make this shape with a deform tool. So I can show you that it's pretty simple. I'm going to grab a platform square and just place this next to the ramp. All right. Now once you've done this, we're going to go down to the bottom. We can see our little icons. The first one is block mode. So if I went into block mode, which we're already in, you can see you've got this ghost mode and etc. We're going to go to modes and click over to custom blocks. So I can edit this custom block by clicking create new custom block and then wait. Yep. And editing it that way. But we don't want to do that. We want to actually make an item from this block. So if you want to do that, let's click on this little item mode and do the same thing. Go to modes, click across, and now we're going to create new item from the selected block. So click that, and now click the block. We're just going to get a few more things to play with, that's all. So we've got a few settings over here that we can change, but we won't worry about any of them for now. You can name your item, but I don't normally bother because it gets named later on. Over here it says waypoint. This is where you can make this thing a start or checkpoint, finish, etc. But we're just going to worry about the mesh section for now. Go into mesh, and it'll give you this. You've got two layers that it will come with, geometry, collisions, and geometry. So if I hide the geometry, you can see the collisions, and then I'll hide the collisions. So what we're going to do first is go into geometry. And now, if I click this once, it's going to click this top face, because this block has already been made into separate faces. You can see if I click the side, it's got a whole face there, etc. We want to make our own version of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to click off, double click off the object, start fresh, just click the top face. We're going to Control C, copy. We are going to go into our layer section and add a new geometry layer. Once we've added a new geometry layer, go down to this bottom right section where it says tool step, and you want to change this to 0. This just will assure that when you paste this, it's going to paste it in the exact same place you copied it from. So if I paste it now, it just appeared there, see? You notice there's this little box here. When you add a new geometry layer, it always starts with this little box. So you can start, say, like deforming from that, but we're not going to use that, so we'll delete their box. Okay, we've made our layer. Now we're going to go back and delete their two layers that it came with. So just delete them both. You don't need them. And we're going to be left with just our face. So go into our face, and I'm going to show you a couple of quick little interesting things. So if I click on the face and I change my tool step to 2 meters, I can just click this little plus thing and it can take me there eventually. 2 meters. And you'll see here down the bottom in this yellow columns, you've got creative tools where you can draw lines and create faces and stuff. We're not going to use that section at the moment. The next one is modeling tools, so I can extrude this and like extrude it up or down. You've got deform, so I can bend it and make it into the quarter pipe and stuff like that. And then you've got mirror, so I can mirror one just exactly like it next to it, or upside down, etc. And then I can split sections and move selection to ground. It's a bit weird. Cut selection, copy, paste. And in the advanced tools, cut hole in face, fill hole, flip edge. We're not going to worry about most of these. We're just going to worry about a couple of them. So for now, we'll just go back to your modeling tools, click the face, double click off, make sure it's the whole face. and we are going to extrude. So click this extrude tool and just move it up. You'll notice how it's moving up in 2 meter increments because of the tool step. So just click it off. And now we have our 2 meter block, same size as theirs. And if I click this block, you're going to see the mesh. The next thing we want to do is change the mesh and give it some more geometry. So if I tried to deform this into this quarter pipe over here with only this size geometry, you'd get no smooth arc. You'd just get like real blocky squares from each section. You know, it would look very, not much resolution to it. So we need to give it some more geometry. But the way we're going to do that is you can click it all, go into our advanced tools, and you'll see subdivide. And now you can click this a couple of times until you can give it a some more geometry. So now if I deform this, it'll be much smoother. But we've run into a little problem, well, I've had a little problem. You can see how on top you've got this 1 unit square, okay? And then you have these 4 faces inside that 1 unit. So what we've got to do, I want to change this to be the same as this. So where I've run into, you've got to go back to when we were starting at our original face. Just undo a couple of times, Control Z, and click the face. And we're going to add the subdivisions to the face before we extrude it. So now we're going to extrude it after this. Double click off, click the item, go back to extrude. Oh, I pressed deform by accident. Don't do that. Click it, extrude, go up by 2 meters, and you'll notice that we have a nice even mesh all the way around. So we've created our first block. Now I want you to save this. Save it as whatever you want. Just call it something simple like base or item or etc. Let's call it base. Whoop. Save. Okay. Now you've saved it. Go back out, and you'll see if you go into custom here, this is where all your items are going to go. I've got a bunch of these items from downloading other people's, but you'll find yours in there. So find yours, and we're just going to move it around. Hold on. What have I done here? Okay. Having a problem joining this up for some reason. So, see, I had a little bit of an issue there. I'm going to show you something quickly. If I go into edit this selected item, I'm going to go into this menu here. It says placement parameters. You can see how it's all set. It's got 1 in the fly step, 0, blah, 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 blah. What we're going to want to do, make this a little bit more, a little bit easier to move around. If I change this horizontal to 32 meters, because each block, each square is 32 by 32 meters. So this means if I move my block around, it's going to be moving around the horizontal axis by 32 meters at a time and not just that little 1 meter. Okay, next thing we're going to do, go to our fly step and change this to 8 meters. 8 meters is the size of our platforms underneath the ramps. So you're going up by 8 meters every time you add a platform on top of each other. So we're going to change it to 8 meters, so we're moving up by that. And the fly step is like the vertical size is what we were just talking about, but the fly step is something a bit different, a little bit more complicated. But it's highly recommended to keep the fly step and the vertical size the same number. All right. Might get into the fly step and stuff a little bit later on. But for now, just vertical size, horizontal size, and keep the fly step the same as the vertical. Done. Now save it, resave it, and go back out. And you'll notice that this block is now moving around in by 32. And it's going to be moving up by 8. Okay. So if I go to join this up, you can see how it's not joining up still. It seems to be having an issue by, looks like 2 meters. So the way we're going to fix this, go back in, just edit it, go to parameters, and see this offsets, right? We're having a vertical offset issue here. So we go into vertical offset, and we're going to change this by 2 meters. Okay. If I remember rightly, this is negative 2 meters. So we're going to go down. So if I did 2 meters, I think it's just going to make it go up. So we'll keep it at -2, I'm pretty sure. Save that again. And now, perfect. And now you can see it's acting like their block, right? Moving up in 8s, and around in 32s, easier to join up, etc. Okay? So once we've established this, we're going to get out of it and place our block there instead. Okay? Now edit this block. We're going to go into the mesh, and we're going to get some deforming going on. So if I double click this, you can see the mesh again. All right, so what we're going to do is change our tool step first of all to 32 meters. So just like this. And now I'll show you a little bit about the deform tool. When you click the deform tool, make sure you click all your item first. And I click deform, right? What's going to happen is it's going to show me this green box on this edge. But if I wanted the green box, say, on this edge, it's based on which way your camera is facing. So if I want it on this edge, I've got to face my camera that way, and then get out of the other one and just re-click it, and now I'm here. Okay. Now I'm going to show you some another useful thing, because there's a couple of bugs in this editor. You will crash it every now and then by accidentally undoing at the wrong time or whatever. But here's another little issue I ran into. If I click it and I press deform tool now, you notice how this says this selection box. You notice how it's highlighted? If I leave that highlighted and now click deform, we're going to run into this issue. Ready? I can move it out by 32, maybe up by 30, whatever. It's done a couple of steps. If I try to, oh, it is actually working now. Sometimes it won't let you undo when you're in this mode. And it can be quite frustrating because you have to actually go back. You're stuck here, you want to undo it. You have to go back and press selection, get out of it, and then click undo all of it, which is annoying because you might want to keep deforming and you've got this huge thing and you've only stuffed up one step and you just want to undo that one step instead of the whole thing you just made and start again. So if that's happening to you, for some reason it worked then, I would click the item, and then when I move this over to like one of these other ones, like move tool or scale tool, and then click deform, I never seem to have that same issue of not being able to undo my last step while inside the deform tool. Just keep that in mind because it was really annoying. All right, so anyway, we're in our basic block. We've got our deform tool on the right edge. We've got 32 meter tool step, and we want to mimic this ramp. So the first thing we want to do is show you these two handles, tell you what they're all about. Every time you click deform 2, you'll have 2 of them. One will be attached to the yellow line, and one's going to be like about a meter away from it. Well, this one on the yellow line is your rotation set of handles. So when you click it, you get 3 more handles that help you rotate this. So this one's going to rotate it in the way we want towards the quarter pipe way. But if I don't want that, we could also rotate it in this direction, etc. And you know what I mean. And now this other one is your translation one, where you can either, like we did before, just move, drag it out by 32 meters. So now we've got 2 of the same thing, or you can drag it up, etc. So what we're going to do first is we're going to click this little handle translation and drag it up by 32 meters. And then you'll see you get all this glitchy nonsense. Don't worry about that. Because once I delete this one, it's going to smooth out. And I get this type of ramp, which you could use. You could just use this ramp if you want. But we want to mimic this one. So we're going to grab the rotation handle, grab this handle, and then rotate it by 90 degrees. And you can notice here, when I move this around, when I get to 90, see that little blue? To let you know you've hit 90 degrees. It's really helpful. Look out for that. So click 90. Okay. So we have our quarter pipe, but you'll notice that here it's a little bit offset again by like 1 meter or so. And you could have made this ramp perfectly by just setting it to like 31 meters or whatever. But when I go to deform this again around, it's not going to be 31 meters. Yeah, if you try 31 meters again, it's going to come up at a short. You'd have to do like 33 meters, and it does this weird stuff that you have to do a little bit more math in your head. This way seems to be a bit easier. Just set it to 32, same size, and then once you've got it to here, just change it to 1 meter. That looks like that's all we're changing. We're going to click off and find our translation handle. Now this can be a bit of a pain sometimes to see them. There it is there. And we're going to go this way by a meter, right? And we're going to delete the handle before it. And the way you do that is you just right click and it will disappear, the last one. Okay? And now you can notice that we're almost there. We're just 1 meter too tall. Okay? So now we're going to click that translation tool and just go down by a meter, right? Same thing again, delete the one that we left behind. And now we have our perfect ramp that's exactly like theirs. And we can connect this on. You can save this and join it on just like their one. It would be no different. Okay? Well, we're going to take this a little bit further just so I can show you how easy it is to just get your deforming going. So set your tool step again to 32 meters, right? And we're going to go to the next layer, the next ramp. And now we're going to go up, find our rotation handle, and we're going to rotate it this way, 90 degrees. Okay? And once again, don't worry about the glitchy stuff. Click off, find your translation handle, and we're going to go this way, 32. Remove this bad boy, and we're going to be in the same sort of predicament. So once again, just go down to 1 meter and just adjust it as you need. So we're going to find this handle. We need to go out by 1, delete the last one. We need to go up by 1 and delete the last one. And you can see that we're perfect. And you just keep repeating this kind of process. And eventually you're easily going to get, oh, I went the wrong way. This is why it's helpful to make sure that you can undo each step in this deform tool. Go back to 32, click the rotation, rotate it down, click off the screen, find your hard to see translation thing, and click down, delete this one. Oop. Okay, and we have the same issue. So we are going to click 1 meter and find that silly tool handle and go down by 1 by the looks of it. Delete the last one. I'm sorry to fix my camera. The camera is probably the most annoying thing. Alright, go across by 1. Doing right? Yep. Okay, there we go. And we've done that step. Sorry for the little bit of stuff around. This program can be quite fiddly, and I am new to it myself. I only started playing Trackmania in the last month or so, and I ended up finding the mesh modeler and substance painter to make skins, and then so much of my time has been spent there. Whoop. See, I've done something wrong here, but it's still a cool effect. But luckily we can just simply go back. So what I did was I translated out before I rotated it, and that's why I had that mistake. So where's this handle? Oh, undo, accidentally. We want to go this way by 90, and this way, delete. All right, fixed. Yeah, So I found the mesh modeler, and this has been taking a lot of my time because I enjoy these kind of programs. I've played with other ones like Maya and 3D Max and 360 Fusion and AutoCAD programs. But I'm not the best. I'm not a content creator or video editor, so I am just going to go along. All right, so we've got our shape. And now you know how to deform, pretty much at a basic level. So I'm just going to go back until we get our ramp. All right. Yep, it's back to perfect. So let's just click our selection tool and leave it as the ramp. Okay, so we'll save this ramp and we can call it ramp if you want. So you have a ramp, and just to quickly show you, let's go back out, click, click, quite easy to manipulate around to show you everything works. Oop. So we're going to have another issue here. Did that work, or did we go too far down? Okay. See what I mean? Sometimes you'll actually get into all this stuff and it fills up your screen, and it can be quite annoying. So we might be having another offset issue, and this is helpful because I can show you another useful tip, because you're bound to run into this same issue. Once again, you cannot move this around easily. So when you get into more complex bends and shapes, that step I showed you before by changing your parameters but to 32 and 8 will start breaking down. They're not going to start joining up. So that's why sometimes it is easier. It is a bit fast, a little bit like more fiddly to join things up. You change these all back down to 1. Get rid of the offset and the vertical size. Change that to 1. Okay. Now just resave it. And now let's see how it's going to be a little bit harder for you to place things, but you should be able to go down, right? And you can still get things to connect this way, okay? Camera modes, etc. Right? Do you get my point? Come on. Did I stuff it up? Yeah, see, this is the issue, but you can play around with those parameters. If you know math pretty well, that's when these things start becoming handy, right? So we've made our ramp. They all connect together nicely. So we're going to go back in to our ramp, all right? And we're going to show you another cool deformation. So let's just select our ramp, and we're going to turn it around and deform this side. So if I deform this side, once again, set your tool step to 32 meters. Right? And you see, because our ramp's already the right size, it's already perfectly connected to their one, we're going to have no problems. So if I want to, let's show you. Click this rotation handle. I'll rotate it this way by 90 degrees. Okay. Click off, get this handle and pull it 32 meters and delete this one. And now you've got your first transition. That's a cool little bend that connects onto theirs. And just to show you how easy this is to see here, I'm now in that situation where I cannot undo that last step, and it can be really annoying. So I click selection and I have to go back to the beginning. Let's see if this fixes it while I'm here. Click the item. I'm going to change this to say the move tool first, and then press deform. and we'll bend it the other way this time. And click off, go that way, and delete this one. And now we'll get this transition. Okay, this go. Can I undo now? No. See, this is this weird buggy thing that I don't understand. And if you don't get that undo feature, it can be quite frustrating later on. But anyway, let's see if I can still get to show you some cool stuff. Click deform again. And let's see if I just don't stuff up. But just keep that in mind. It's better off if you can get it to undo. We're going to go out by double, delete this one. So we've got two of the same. And now let's bend it again and do the same shape. So I can show you how you can keep on making these bigger and smaller as you need. Oop. Delete these. Now you've got a bigger version, and then you can just keep on. Yeah, I can't undo again. But you can see what I mean. If you want to make this a bigger, just do it three ramps long and then bend it, then do 4 ramps long, then bend it, and you'll keep on getting smaller and bigger sizes of this that will all join up. So you could have a little tighter hand turned here, etc. So let's just show you to get some more creative. We can get, say if I want to make a transition that just goes straight up into maybe a wall ride or whatever. So let's just grab this handle again and go up. Okay. Wait. Oh, I've already stuffed it. Okay, let's see if I can fix it quickly. Nope. Maybe I can fix it from here. Where's your rotation handle that I'm looking for? Is it this one? And bend it that direction. Oh, so we have our first crash. See, this is what's going to happen often enough as a beginner, because you'll get yourself into a problem. The program doesn't know how to undo it, or it's, you've made a big piece with a lot of geometry, and then it gets harder for your computer to read it because your computer might not have a lot of space or whatever, and it'll crash. There's a few reasons why it can crash, and I'm not savvy with all of them. So since that's happened, I might just end the tutorial here, guys, and make a new one showing you how to get a bit more creative with the deform tool, and then I might make another video trying to make a little bit more creative stuff like a tree or etc. So you can see how easy it is to just start shaping the mesh the way you want. It's pretty basic, and once you get those few steps, you're gonna be able to pretty much make whatever you want. That's just patience is your enemy, really. How good is your patience? So for now, I'll say goodbye and see you in the next video.